Hey guys, Randy Gage here, and we're back with another episode of Chopping It Up with ... Juan Carlos Barrios, who is a superstar in the profession. Some of you gringos may not know him, but I promise you, anybody in LATAM world knows this guy incredibly well. He's a very successful entrepreneur in our business and outside of our business, a big believer in personal development, a man I got to know more recently, but I knew right away you guys had to hear from him. So, Juanito, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much, my friend Randy. I'm so honored for being here, my friend. And you are right. You know, the Americans probably doesn't know too much about me, but thank you for opening this window to chat and to discuss some issues or some whatever happened in this chat, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you for this time, my friend. I'm so honored.
Yeah, and I think it's really helpful for people to learn what's going on in our profession in different areas of the world.
Yeah, correct.
You know, I've had a couple of shows now with people from Scandinavia. I have some people from Asia coming up, of course, some other people from LATAM. And there's definitely some differences in the markets particularly the cultural stuff. But I find that maybe that's a good place to start the discussion. Let's start there. Here's my belief, and then I want to see what you think about this.
All right, okay.
I believe there are certain fundamental human desires that transcend all cultures, all languages, all age demographics. They would be, for instance, the desire for security, the desire for love, right? Now what I think changes is the definition of those things. If you're in El Salvador, your definition of security is much different than it is in Omaha, Nebraska, right? So in El Salvador, So I have my friend from El Salvador here. He came to, we were doing my softball team was playing in the World Series in Austin, Texas. So we came out of the hotel, we were going to go to the field, and there was like a metro stop or bus stop somewhere. And there was a guy there on his laptop working, and there were people talking on their phone. And his head about exploded. He was like, people just stand on the street with laptops and cell phones in public and they don't get robbed? Oh my, because it's like literally a month after that, he was in a convenience store in San Salvador and he got held up at gunpoint and they stole his car. And he went to the police station to report it. And they were like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. You know how many cars are sold every day? And he's like, stolen every day. And he's like, yeah, but I want to put the report in case you recover it. And they're like, your car is never going to be recovered. We don't waste time with reports. Get used to it, right? There are people, in Syria, security might be having an AK-47 underneath your mattress right now. For somebody in Madison, Wisconsin, security might be having $100,000 in the bank. So I believe those, like people want to be perceived as attractive, right? If we go back to the Impressionist painters, I believe in that era, we had these very large Rubenesque, voluptuous women, and women wanted to look that way. Now we kind of have this anorexia culture where people want to be so skinny they could stand behind a microphone stand and hide, right? But so the definition of wanting to be attractive might change, or the definition of security, but those basic human desires, they don't change anywhere. And that's why at least for me, working around the world, having worked in 50 different countries, I just find as long as I go to those basic desires that all human have, then the language and there is cultural thing. And so I kind of wonder what you think about that, particularly I don't remember if it was Eric Gamio I was talking about this, but one of these shows where, I was down in Lima, Peru with Alvaro Zuniga Benavides, and we walked into his office and he hugged and kissed every woman in the office when he walked in. And I thought, if he does that in the United States, he's going to get sued for sexual harassment.
Exactly.
It's a different culture. What's your experience? Because you're working with different companies, different countries. What do you see as the difference, if any, in different parts of the world?
Oh, thank you, my friend. So before I want to say to your audience that I have been working in network marketing for 33 years. I started in 1990 here in Mexico, and as you know, the world is becoming more global every time, and my business started going out of Mexico. And I have been building network marketing in over 35 countries. So I can see, that there are many cultural differences, between in the countries. But there is some things, my friend, that, as you said, that are like it's part of the human nature. And of course, it's all related about love, about recognition, about belonging. People need to be part of something bigger, and it doesn't change. It doesn't change how the technology is growing and improving, and the companies are changing things. People need to be recognized, need to be like they want to be here, they want to be I don't know how to say that in English, tomados en cuenta, right? You speak Spanish, like being considered,
Yes, being considered,
being considered,
to be seen. Even you could translate it as they want to be seen.
Be seen, exactly. And also I believe that personal need loves, and love is like a family. It's like when we work together, as a community, we need to feel that we are protected, by this community. We are loved for this community, and to be seen and to be considered, and that your voice is here, and they will take action about whatever you said, that you are part of something special. I think it will never change, my friend. Of course, security and money and all this stuff, it's important, it's the first thing that people look at, to be like, to have stability. But then, when you create a culture, when you feel all these needs, you hold a team, a team forever, because people want that even more than money, I believe, Randy. Don't you think, my friend?
Yeah, that desire to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
Exactly.
That's why people join religions. It's why people join gangs. It's why they join social clubs. It's why social media works, the cohorts and the tribes that get built there. And I think the best companies in our space and the best leaders in our space, they are able to create that something bigger than themselves.
Exactly.
As you know, our mutual near dear friend, Jaime Loquier, wrote a book on this subject of, in English, the title would be Leaders Die, but Movements Don't.
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, one of the things I do from a marketing standpoint, I'd be interested in your take on this. But every time I'm working with a new company, I look at, okay, what is this product line about? What are the benefits to the people? And then who is the villain?
Exactly.
Who is Darth Vader?
Exactly.
That is, who is Hannibal Lecter? Who is the evil, diabolic villain, like from the James Bond movies? So it might be, when I work with a functional beverage company, the enemy to me was the soda companies.
Exactly.
They're making all these sugary drinks that create addictions and give people diabetes and blood pressure and, all kind of problems. And sometimes in wellness companies, I've made the enemy the packaged food companies that make all of the, Cheetos, Fritos, and Doritos and pizza and pasta and, because real food is fruits and vegetables and nuts.
Exactly.
And then people can argue about protein, but that's real food. But most of what most people eat today, I would bet 80% of it is not real food. It's manufactured substances. Exactly. And those manufactured fake foods don't have the vitamins, minerals, micronutrients, fiber, all of the stuff we need to be healthy. So they're literally they are killing us. The people who make a lot of these food and beverage, right? So I like to rally the team against those villains because I think it creates that passion. And so one of the things I like to do is identify who is the villain. And the other thing I like to do is identify what's the movement. What's the goal? What is the objective if we do this the right way? How do you approach that?
I love that, my friend. I love that. And probably going a little bit deeper, when I start a company in network marketing, I need to understand and of course, what are the tools? What are the things that I have in this company? If I have a nutritional products, whatever, I can find out the billions. It's fantastic. But going a little bit deeper, what do you think about that, my friend Randy? It's like when you start network marketing, whatever product it is, whatever company it is, there is other billions and that you have to fight with, and probably one of them, my friend, right now is the perception of outside about network marketing. Because even though you have like incredible arguments, about your products, you will face that a lot of people have not good impression about network marketing, and you have to fight with this villain, and probably you will never be able to kill it because it's forever, because the behavior of many people who doesn't do the right things in network marketing, they are like encouraging that villain, and probably what I do is, I need to understand, my friend, that if I decide to do network marketing, I need to understand that this villain exists and I have to deal with, I have to fight with it forever. And I say, okay, the question is simple. I want those results and I need to fight with this villain, I'm willing to do that. Yes. Okay. So I need to prepare myself, and I need to prepare my people to understand, that I need to fight with that. And there is also antidotes, and medicine then you can take in order to protect yourself a little bit probably about this villain, because they will never disappear. But we can fight, better with that. And probably it will be, the understanding that you have about network marketing and the understanding that this villain exists, and you have to be willing to fight with him, and also to do the right things to create.
Okay, we're back. I had to pause the recording for a moment to handle something, but please continue, my friend.
Thank you very much, my friend. I was taking, I was telling you, to go a little bit deeper of the billions, and also to understand that there is another billion. Is the perception of everybody else, around you when you start network marketing. Because if you don't know about that billion, you will be very disappointed. When you start inviting people, very confident, and the people start saying, "No, are you kidding? Are you doing network marketing?" So we need to be prepared, with the right mindset, to understand that this is the billion that exists, and you will never hit that billion. And this billion is also growing right now, I believe more than ever, my friend, for the wrong behavior that many people does in network marketing, for all these companies, that create like a lot of millionaires instantly, and they start showing the cars and everything on the internet. So, and a lot of pyramid schemes and all these things, that kills the name of network marketing around. So this is a billion, my friend, and we have to face that, that, and probably it's more aggressive than ever right now because of the social media, the communication. So I always love, that when someone start for the first time, especially network marketing, they need to have the right mindset. They have to have the right mentality, to be able to fight this billion, my friend, to be able to I don't know, to understand that this is gonna happen. It's okay, and I say, okay, you want the result, you have to fight with this billion. I will help you. I will give you the tools or how to fight, in the right way. I'm not promising that you will win, but at least you will, you will reduce the damage of this guy, but the right mindset and also understanding more deeply the industry, watching testimonies of people, successful people, and also becoming professional of this industry, my friend, and many things. What do you think about that, my friend?
Yeah, as you know, Jaime and I have started this new newsletter called MLM Confidential.
Exactly.
And one of the sections in there every month is what we call, in Spanish, la sopa, in English, the dish, which is what's the gossip going on in the space? Who's this leader left and went to that company? What this company's, and we're really naming names like for these MLM crypto scams and these Ponzi schemes. And people who just, there used to be a time, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but there used to be a time, I think, if you got arrested and you went to jail for running a pyramid scheme, you would be so humiliated at the shame and the reputational damage you did to your family. You would never surface in the space again. You'd say, I'm going to go work at the car wash. Once you got out of prison, you'd say, I'm going to go work at the car wash, or I'm going to wait tables, or I'm going to become a bricklayer, or I'm going to just stay out of the public eye, and I'm going to do something that doesn't victimize people. But now they get out of prison and
they start all over again.
They're promoting a new scheme. There is no shame to these people. So we started that site, duplicationnation.com. And we've got that newsletter. And I hope everyone who watches these series, God, I hope they subscribe to that newsletter, because it's the real truth about what's going on in our space. And I think you can inoculate your team against some of those scams once they become aware of it. Like there's a magic pill that goes in the gas tank that's supposed to extend mileage. That comes back every 5-6 years. There's some magic ball you put in the laundry, the washing machine, and then you never have to buy detergent again. That comes back every 5-6 years. The
magic bracelet that you use, and your perfect health and your balance.
Right. Yeah, that keeps circulating. The airplane game. And now, of course, with the MLM, because of the cryptocurrency thing, the MLM crypto scams are just totally out of control. But once you kind of educate people on that stuff, then they recognize it and, oh, yeah, okay, that's coming back again. But the exciting thing to me is, I think the thinking people, the white collar, in English, we say blue collar people are like manual labor, executive people, we call them white collar labor, right? Okay. White collar people now really are involved actively in network marketing everywhere in the world.
Exactly.
When I started, that wasn't the case. I was a guy who had been a dishwasher in a pancake house. And most of the people in the business in those days were people like me, cooks and waiters and busboys and taxi drivers. And we all traded hours for money. And then we saw leverage and said, oh, my God, I don't have to work 60 hours instead of 40 to make more money. I can actually recruit some people, train them how to build a customer base, get override residual income. When I saw that, I mean, when people tell me, yeah, but if people don't understand, why don't they see it? I'm like, I don't even know how to deal with that, because when I saw it,
Yeah, exactly.
lit up like a Christmas tree, because you could go back 100 generations in my family,
Correct.
and every single one of them traded hours for money. There was nobody in my family ever. My younger sister is the first person in my family tree who ever went to college. So leverage, and now I mean, it's, if I look at my team, if I go and speak at a convention, if I was working with your team, I know there's going to be doctors and attorneys and dentists and vice presidents of marketing and CFOs and executive level people in the audience, because they've seen Warren Buffett buy Pampered Chef and all of those things. They've seen, maybe they were skeptical when Mark Hughes was doing his glitz and glamour for Herbalife in the 70s, but Herbalife is still here and they're doing billions of dollars.
Exactly.
And New Skin is still here and they're doing billions of dollars. And Natura is doing billions of dollars. And Melaleuca is doing billions of dollars. And all of a sudden, these people realize, wow, this is a smart this is an opportunity that needs to be considered. And I think the other thing is all the later millennial generations that we're dealing with now, they side business or side gig or side hustle, it's just part of the culture. They all do that anyway. And so we're just, I think, a better side hustle than driving for a rideshare program or delivering pizzas or things like that.
But my friend, do you agree that right now, all these young people, when they discover, especially all the pyramid schemes, with this fast way to become a millionaire, I'm a little bit concerned, my friend. Let me just share that, because this is one of the things that kills my head, when I see all these new millionaires that in 1 or 2 years, they're creating more money than what we ever imagined, and I'm a little bit concerned, and let me share it openly this with you, my friend, because, it took me 7 years in my first company. It was Amway, my first company. It took me 7 years to become a diamond in that company. So I'm not fast. I'm slow guy, but in these 7 years, my friend, I remember how many books I read, the Amway culture, how many tapes I listened to, how many seminars, I attend, and it was like over and over training myself, like growing, and it was a personal development together with leadership development, together with my team, like developing a team and customers, and understanding about sales and understanding about connecting people, creating a culture, creating a tribe, creating a family, and it takes time, my friend, to really understand that. And thanks God that I was slow, my friend. I say that, because I saw all the very quickly diamonds that became in my country very, very fast, it took 1 year, 2 years to become a diamond, and they thought that they knew everything, and they start learning more. They stop educating themselves, and because they believed that they were the leaders, they were the trainers. But thanks God, it doesn't happen to me. It didn't happen to me. I was slow, so I grow slow. So that, it took me a lot of tapes, and I became very passionate about personal development, and I started taking also mentorship from other people outside, even outside network marketing, my friend, to really understand how to manage my agenda correctly, how to be more productive in life, how to learn how to sell professionally. And I started taking mentorship with a huge guys, that really understand that. And I also about, financial intelligence and all these stuff that you need to learn in order to grow. And I'm a little bit scared, my friend. Let me share that openly with you. I never say that openly on the internet, but I'm a little bit concerned about all these young guys, young people that have the plane already, and in 2 years, and they have a lot of volume, a lot of the team is all about young people doing trading or doing crypto ship trade or whatever. Sorry for that. So and I say, oh my goodness, they don't understand, they don't get it, because they have the money, brother. But where is the leadership? What is everything else that goes around? Because I love our industry, my friend, not only for the money that you can create, but for the person that you transform, that you create, but all these years of really, really all these hours, my friend, of training that we have, we are from the old school, my friend. And Randy, we started when it was not internet, when it was not when you have to go door by door. I started with not even Mexico, we don't have even cell phones. I was using the telephone of the corner in my town, with coins, doing my follow-up, and my invitations, not even in my parents' house, because they only have one phone and it was busy, so I have to go outside to do the call. So it's a completely different time. And I'm concerned, my friend. I want to hear from you about this, because probably you're one of the people who are like more involved with the old school, and are here, really involved in the industry, that understand also things in a very deeply way. So I want to hear from Randy Gage.
Well, I made a big pivot in my life, maybe 15 years ago. I got introduced, no, even more, 20 years ago, really. I got introduced to the principles of prosperity.
Okay.
I was going to the Unity Church and the Science of Mind Church.
Okay.
And I got exposed to Reverend Eric Butterworth, Reverend Charles Fillmore, and Ernest Holmes. So Ernest wrote the book, The Science of Mind, which is kind of my Bible in terms of personal development. And I said, this is what I was meant to study. And so I've been on this study for more than 20 years of these principles of prosperity. And so people think, oh, Gage is a millionaire because he's in network marketing. And that's true. I made millions of dollars in network marketing as a distributor. And because people say, well, he must just make his money because he's a trainer or he writes books. No, I made $1 million plus a year income as a distributor, building it the right way, with no cooked legs, no sweetheart deals, no under the table money, legitimate building block stuff.
Correct.
But I think the reason I was so successful in doing that is because I learned the principles of prosperity, and that became my life work. So I always tell my team, network marketing is my side hustle. They're like, how can it be your side hustle if you make? I'm like, this is my part-time job. This is my 20-hour-a-week job. My real work in life, I believe, is my prosperity work. Wow. So I've written, I wrote a book called Risky is the New Safe. It was a manifesto for entrepreneurs. It became a New York Times bestseller, Wall Street Journal, business, a weekly magazine, whatever, translated into a couple dozen languages. I wrote a book called Mad Genius, which was kind of the follow-up to that. I wrote a 5-book series on prosperity. And my last book my most recent one was called Radical Rebirth. And it's kind of how to put together the financial stuff, the prosperity, other stuff, the work stuff, the marketing stuff, how to kill off the areas of your life you don't like and become the highest possible version of yourself. And I feel like that book puts together my whole philosophy.
Wow.
Right now, I'm working on my 15th book, and that book is called Thermonuclear Prosperity. So
Okay.
most of the people in our space, they know me because of Direct Selling Success and
Exactly.
DEFCON 1 direct selling. They don't even know I've written these other books, and that's okay.
I
But
didn't know, my friend. I didn't know. Sorry.
yeah, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't know. But I've written 14 books. They're all bestsellers, and they've been translated into 27 or 28 different languages. Because that's my real passion. And what I did is I learned, because when I first started making money, what did I start doing? I started buying $80,000 watches and
Yeah, exactly.
$250,000
Luxury
cars and $1
cars.
million penthouses and doing all the bling bling stuff. And I don't regret that at all, by the way. I am so happy
It feels
that I
good.
was,
It feels good to have
yeah,
a
that
good
I was
watch.
able to do that. And I wish that for everyone, that you make so much money that you can just do stupid money shit, just stupid shit, right? And get it out of your system like I did. And now I've become a custodian of wealth, and I've learned the literacy of money.
All
And
right.
I've learned the big picture of prosperity. The new book is about the 4 quadrants of prosperity, and they are wellness, harmony, significance, and resources. So like money and material things is in the resources category. That's just one quadrant. There's 4 different quadrants. And because if you make $2 million a year in your network marketing business, but your kids aren't talking to you, and you blew up your marriage, and your health is horrible.
Exactly.
Where are you going to, do you think you're going to be happy? Do you think there's any amount of money you can make that would make you happy? No, you're going to be miserable. So with the later millennial generations, which is really the question you raised, like,
yeah, exactly.
every 17-year-old in the world is a life coach or an influencer on Instagram right now, or TikTok, right? And so they watch Gary Vaynerchuk, and they hear the things they want to hear, hustle, the grind, yeah, hustle. And they don't hear the part where he says, yeah, I worked packing ice in my father's liquor store for 7 years before I started to do business. Yeah, I made YouTube videos for 5 years that 3 people watched every day, or 15 people watched. And I didn't start talking about entrepreneurship until I had made money. I had patience. I paid my dues. I did my work. That part gets kind of lost because there's so many. Have you ever seen this asshole Andrew Tate? You know what I'm talking about? You seen that guy?
Yeah.
He's in prison now in, I forget, Romania. I think Romania or Bulgaria somewhere. But he was, he has a huge following among young people, particularly guys, young men, who are seduced by the private jets and the, fleet of cars and all of that stuff. And those are the people that I think you're worried about, and I'm worried about, that they're getting a really superficial message. But hopefully they see, well, okay, Andrew was my hero, but Andrew is rotting away in a jail cell right now. And that's probably not where I want to be, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, again, I think it's about education. We have to, as people have heard in these other chopping it up I've done with other people, I haven't talked about my income in probably 15 years. I don't ever show pictures of my cars anymore. I don't ever do the bling bling thing. It's just not who I'm about. And I feel like the majority of the later millennial generations that are coming into business, which are really driving the business right now for many companies.
More than
I don't think they resonate with the Lamborghinis and Ferrari shit. I think when we talk to them about that cause bigger than yourself, leaving the world better after you were here, concentrating on helping them get out of debt. I mean, I have a dear friend who's a PhD. He's 53 or 52 or something. He still has $90,000 worth of college loan debt.
Wow.
Right? That's horrific. He's not worried about a Lambo. He just wants to get out of debt. And that's the message going to resonate with him. And I think I was actually just talking to my friend earlier this morning about that. We were looking at the demographics on social media and the different platforms. Like, you know, at one point, Facebook was this engine for driving the business and meeting people. But there's really nobody on Facebook anymore except the boomer generation, right? The grandmas and grandpas, the abuelitas are on there because they want to trade pictures of their grandchildren. But there's nobody under 35 who's on Facebook, right? They're on TikTok and Instagram, right? Or Snapchat. And I told him the thing I was literally saying this morning is we have some legacy MLM companies that are in that same boat. And if they don't change what they're doing, they're going to be fucked. Okay. Yeah. Because I go and I do a leadership training for them, and I'm the youngest guy in the room. And I'm old. I'm literally, at the time we're recording this, we are 2 days away from my birthday. And I will
How old are you, my friend? Tell me, how old are you?
I will be 64 years old in 2 days.
No way, my friend. You look much younger than that.
So, but at 64 years old, I'm the youngest kid in the room. And I'm trying to tell these founders and these presidents and these CEOs of these companies, you do understand your distributor force is dying. You know, the average age of your leadership retreat is deceased. You have got to change your business model. You have got to do something to start attracting younger people into the business. And that's a real issue in our space right now, I think.
My friend, you know, let me tell you, when I started the Amway business in 1990, my friend, I started in Mexico, but 2 months after that, I went to the United States and I started building in the United States. And I don't know if you remember, my friend, 1990, just think about that. Let me explain to you the way I was building the business in the United States. You know, first you get a big box, you know, with all the products, a lot of products. And every single week you have to receive, you know, in a certain time in the day, you know, a call for every one of your different sponsor lines. You know, you receive the order, you know, and you keep all the orders. And by paper, because it was no computer, it was not Excel. You know, by paper, you was taking all you just imagine all the products, you know, because they have a huge number of products. You know, you put in a paper, you know, wait a second, LOC and all these products, you know, in a sheet. And then you have to summarize all the products, and in order to have to have the whole order, and then you have to call at a certain time to your upline every single week. Let's say Tuesday at 2:00. You know, it's the only time you need to call my upline. Used to tell him, you know, by voice in the telephone or with a fax machine, you know, all the order every single week. And then I need to keep all the checks from my different lines, and then to put everything in my bank account. And I hope all these have funds, and then to deliver one check to my upline. And then next week, let's say on Monday,
you know how many people watching you right now are on their phone right now Googling check. What's a check?
Exactly. What is a check? Exactly. So then next Monday, I have to go to the house of my upline to receive all the products. And thanks God, you know, I was hoping that no products were like back order. So I have to take all the products and then come to my house, you know, and divide all these products, you know, because 1 hour after that, I will receive all my downlines to keep the products, you know, and then to do over and over all these things, and they deliver all the products. And then, my friend, you know, this is good. When I received the check, I was receiving the check from my whole team.
Yeah.
and I have to just hold whatever money belongs to me, and I have to do a checks to every single line. This is a commission check. I'm talking about the commission.
You literally had to do the genealogy commission run for your whole team.
It was no back office. It was no way to figure out how many points do you have in your tree, because it was really complicated. So why I'm telling you that, my friend, because I was young when I was doing that. And I remember doing the magazine of the company, all these diamonds or whatever ranks, and I see everyone was a couple, not a single guy, a couple, and it was a couple, but not young couples. It was like older than 35, 40, because of it was so difficult, my friend. And you really need to have a lot of time to do that, and a lot of time to travel, and to knock doors and to do the presentation. So it was difficult, brother, difficult. And I started the business in the United States as a single person, young person, my friend. It was really, really difficult. So it was not space for too many young people, my friend, because it was too hard to build a business. The only way that you survive is you were married, and they were doing the business, and and they were like soon to be full-time really developing the business. It was impossible. But right now, when I look right now, what we're living right now, my friend, look, we are communicating in a real time, free, in a video chat. And I say, my goodness, I'm here with Randy Gage. It's incredible in my office, sitting, taking my coffee, so relaxed. It's amazing. And this message can go to millions of people, whatever, it's a different time. And it opened the doors, my friend. And let me know if I'm wrong or this, but it opened the doors to really to invite everyone, everyone, even though you are young, single, if you have experience in business or not, network marketing is open more than ever, to really, if you really have in your heart, the desire to do something different in your life, is easier than ever, and it's open for everyone, my friend. That's why I believe, that like more young people is looking this opportunity as a real opportunity. The world is changing.
Right? Yeah. And the thing that scares me is the boomers who are watching us right now or listening to us. And what they're saying to themselves is, oh, Randy and Juanca aren't talking about me because I have this young couple and they're my poster child for this young. And what they don't understand is, same thing. I'll be in a Zoom and like I was doing a training for a Zoom for a guy who's got, huge team all over North America. And so he had like 100 people in the Zoom of his. It was a leadership training I'm doing for his team. And there was like 2 people in the Zoom who were like 30, 35 years old. And everybody else was like 60, 70, even 80 years old. And so they had they had both the young people do like a 5-minute testimonial. And you could just see these elderly couples on their sofa doing this crazy technology called Zoom, and they were like, you see them all like that, trying to adjust everything. And they'd be like, oh, listen to those kids. They're talking about that Facebook stuff. Oh, that's so cute. They need to understand. No, those people can't be your poster child.
Exactly.
They have to be the driving force. It's like with wealth, right? At this stage of my life, I'm not trying to amass great wealth. I'm trying to manage the wealth I already have and make sure that I can continue to multiply it to provide my own security for whenever, if ever I should decide to retire, be able to take care of my family, and then will it to the people and the organizations after I'm gone. When I was 20, 25, 30, that's not how I was thinking. I needed to make money. I needed to create wealth. And that's how it has to be in network marketing too. The people driving your company right now can't be baby boomers.
Exactly.
Because they're at a different stage of their life. I'm working with Dana Collins. Dana did one of these Chopping It Up. If anyone watching didn't see that one, you got to listen to the one with Dana. So she's working on a book. I'm helping her with it. And yesterday she sent me her final chapter. And one of the things she was sharing in there was her frustration at leaders who get to a certain degree of success, and then they just stop recruiting. They stop they start phoning it in because they're at a stage in their life where they're making more money than they ever thought possible. It's a big issue in Latin America, like, as you know, because if you get somebody in Mexico who's making $5,000 US a month equivalent,
you are rich here.
You are rich.
You're rich, exactly.
If you're making $15,000 a month US equivalent, you're living like a prince, like a king, right? And so it's very easy to say, "Oh my God," but they haven't really built the foundation to support that. That's what Dana is talking about in her book, how you keep developing that leadership team so you're not the only star on the team. Okay. And I think all of us have to do that in terms of our organization. If if the baby boomers are driving the bus in your organization, you're in serious trouble because it was the same. One of the charities and organizations I like to support is the opera, right? Okay. I'm an opera buff, which you would appreciate because of your concert pianist background.
Exactly.
So they asked me to help them raise, I was a big donor and I would sponsor some productions and stuff. And so they would bring me into the board meetings and say, how can we attract more people? Mm-hmm. And so I'm at a meeting and I say, okay, here's what I'd like you to do. Every performance, this is probably 2010 or 2008, the heyday of Twitter, back when Twitter was really hot.
Yeah.
So I told him,
I remember.
I want you to set aside a section of seats in the side front for the Twitter section. For people who will be taking pictures and tweeting about that, because we need to attract a younger demographic.
Exactly.
They looked at me like I had just called their mother a whore.
Oh my God.
People on their phones, and they should never bring a phone into an auditorium. And I'm like, you know what? I can appreciate that from the music aspect, from the artistic aspect. But you're an idiot if you think that you're going to convince people to leave their cell phones at home.
Yeah.
And if you want anybody under the age of 40 to come to your thing, you could never say. So I took out, they'd have like a program of the big donors. Like if you gave $100,000 a year or more, they put a full page picture of you in the magazine. So I picked up the magazine. And I said, okay, here's me, because I gave way more than $100,000, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And I said, and at that time, so that was 15 to 13 years ago. So I was, 50 something. I'm like, there's nobody in this magazine beside me who's under 65. Half of the pictures were dead people, where they were left like a bequest in their will, for the opera. And, they'd have like oil paintings. These were like, the exact caricature of who most people see as an opera fan, that some old, 90-year-old guy or gal or whatever, who gets oil paintings done of themselves and has it above the fireplace in their mansion. So they would put these oil portraits in there. And I'm like, guys, your market is dying.
Exactly.
You will never sustain this, because people don't know, right? That I would bring my friends, I'd say, listen, there's an opening night, the opera, I have a box. I want you guys to come and be my guest. And I would bring them to the opera for the first time. 30-year-old people, 40-year-old people, rock musicians, people who played an instrument. They had no idea what opera was.
Wow.
And then they get there and they would see, so some tenor would come out on the stage and sing an aria to 2,000 people, of course, with no microphone, because there's no microphones in opera. These people trained their lungs for years to be able to project a voice to fill an auditorium of 2,000 people without a microphone.
Correct.
They would see that and they would fall in love with that. And they would see the costuming and the chorus and the orchestra. So, if I go now and I open up my playlist for my, workout playlist I call it gym workout. I look here, I guarantee you 60% of the songs on this list. I got Alanis Morissette, Bon Jovi, Buck Cherry, Daddy Yankee, Enrique Iglesias, Guns N' Roses, Lady Gaga, Magic, Neon Trees, Poison, Prince, Third Eye Blind, Wishin', I'll guarantee Little Nas X, Black Eyed Peas. I'll guarantee you 60% of the songs on this list, there was not a person playing an instrument. It was done by a computer.
Exactly.
There's, back in the day, a band would go in the studio and you had a guitarist and a drummer and a bass player. That doesn't happen now. They have an engineer with a soundboard and he brings in the drum track and you know what I mean? They don't even play instruments.
And now, my friend, with the artificial intelligence, you will say, please compose that in that tonality, and that's it, and
that's it.
And it's created by itself. Yeah.
Right. So
exactly.
When I bring people to the opera and they see a 60-piece orchestra with the head violinist and, the percussion section, whatever, they were blown away. But what I kept telling the opera is the same thing I'm telling MLM companies today is you can't live on your boomers. Your boomers are dying off. You're going to have to introduce this. In that case, opera is an art form, right? In this case, it's a business model. We have to do the business model, and for like what some companies think is a mobile app. It's not a mobile app. It's a bunch of static images from their website that load on a phone, but they're not able to recruit candidates, send video, follow up, track, you know what I mean? They're 10 years behind in technology, which is like being 100 years behind in anything else.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's really an issue. That's what I'm working with companies is like that voice assistant behind me. Like, what are you doing to integrate that into your recruiting and your customer support and your order fulfillment, right? I mean, you work with a lot of companies. Where are you running into challenges with telling them about technology?
Yeah, exactly, my friend. And I believe this is something that is growing every single day, and we need to be like update all the time, of what is happening, because technology grows so fast. Do you agree with me, my friend? And we have to be like, really, doesn't matter what age we are, we have to think like a young people. We have to think like them, and we have to grow and learn at the same speed as them. I don't believe that you're old, you're like slow. No. I believe that no matter how old I am, I need to think and to grow and to learn, as the speed as the young people. I need to be like in tune with that, and they are good on whatever. I have to be as good as them, in order to relate with them, in order to attract them, in order to understand, and in order to create also tools that can help them. Do you agree, my friend?
Yeah, Jorge Melendez, who you may know from Puerto Rico, but lives in Mexico most of the time. He wrote me yesterday, hey, what is the best book that I can read on artificial intelligence? And I wrote him back, I give him a voice note back really. And I said, Jorge, there's no book on artificial intelligence you can read because it would be out of date 2 weeks after it was published.
Exactly.
The big New York, I mean, you could read stuff like by Ray Kurzweil on the future of technology. There's amazing books on stuff like that. But if you say, hey, I want to know how to use Chat GPT. I want to know how to use artificial. What's the book? There's no book because a New York publisher is going to take a year to get a book to the market. And that book would be out of date 2 weeks after the author sent it in.
Exactly.
So I gave Jorge some blogs and some podcasts that he could follow. So that's the speed with which it's going now. I just got I'm on a lot of companies' email list, and I got an email from a company last week, and it said, we want to let you know you cannot sell products on eBay and Facebook and Alibaba and this and this and this and this. And they listed 10 things. And I'm like, good luck with that. If you think that you're just going to be able to tell people, that isn't how it works in the real world.
Exactly. It's full of stuff. Exactly. All these platforms. The world is changing, my friend, a lot, but you were talking about principles, and I love that, my friend, because what I believe is that no matter how fast the world is changing, the principles are always the principles, are always. And we're operating with this human, body with this hardware that it was designed, since we were like Homo sapiens, and what I feel is like we need to understand how we work, my friend, in order to succeed on this time. For example, it doesn't matter how technology it is around, I need to understand that as soon as I keep working with myself, with my intelligence, with my will, with my discipline, and it's simple, my friend. It's simple to get very distracted in this world because there are too many sexy things, around, like social media and everything is too sexy. And I believe this is the worst time to really be focused on anything, my friend, because there's too much distraction. So principles are principles. So what I said, this is something that works very well for me, is to really have an agenda that it takes my reading time, my friend, so scheduled that nothing, believe me, nothing will interrupt that, and I take my time for growth. And also I take my time for doing my calls, or I take my time for whatever activities I know that are like very vital activities. So, and I, schedule them, and I close all the doors of distraction. And I believe, my friend, more than ever, we need to work on those things, because right now, many people want to be very successful in network marketing and successful in anything else, but they don't understand that, that the time, they're wasting their time and their energy and their attention in too many distractions. And they don't even see that because, just imagine all these chat and all these artificial intelligence, my friend, is getting all the attention of everyone. And it's very easy, brother, to get distracted there. Very easy, so easy. And I'm from an old school, and I get my agenda, and I get all my, I cancel my phone. I never answer the phone. I never answer my phone because my phone for me is the biggest distractor. Yeah. So if someone want to talk to me, they have to contact my assistant, and I never take the phone for anyone, probably chat a little bit, but that's it. Because my time, my friend, and I'm 55, sorry. So that means, my friend, that, half of my life, it's already gone. So I have to be like very, very focused on whatever I do, whatever I put my time and my money as well, and my energy and my attention. So, and it's hard, brother. This is one of the challenges, I believe, for this time, and many people want to be successful in network marketing. They really don't get it because they don't understand, how much of their attention every single day they're spending and all this stuff. It is distracting, What do you think about that, my friend? Tell me.
I love what you're talking about with the self-development. And like you, I'm a reader. I set aside reading time in the mornings. I would never have my phone with me in there. Like here, I'm recording this in my office. So I have a little, whoops, I just killed my AirPods. I have, my little charging station. My phone stays there all night. I would never take it into the living room. I would never take it into the bedroom when I sleep at night. It's charging all night in there. And then when I'm doing stuff, it's there in the charger. And when I'm, doing my reading, I'm doing it out there. Would never have that phone there. And I think part of this with, there's so many people today who are not readers because they don't have the attention span required to read. They're used to so much video stimulation. If you watch like Saturday morning children's cartoons, or you watch Nickelodeon, if you see the way kids are assaulted with so much stimulation, like if you have a video that you want to get played, a music video, just literally get a stopwatch and you watch every single second. The image on the video changes 1,002, 1,003, 1,004. You will never see the same image on the screen for 7 seconds. It's a lifetime. Meanwhile, I have companies that want to do videos with one guy sitting in front of a camera talking for an hour and a half by himself, a talking head, I'm like, do you really, are you selling insomnia products? Is that what your market is? So to get, I think Raul Tufik, who, friend of both of ours, him and I are talking about this all the time, that he's a big reader and he pushes really strong for his people to read. And he's always fighting that fight that I don't really read. No, if you want to be a leader in our profession.
There's no other way, exactly.
Yeah. You got like 12 or 13 businesses now. You're a very successful entrepreneur. One of them is a publishing company, right? For books and stuff.
Exactly. I am a writer also, my friend, and in order to be a writer, you need to be organized with your time, because it's impossible to write a book if you don't are very organized and very disciplined. But one of the things that I love, my friend, is that my publishing company is doing a great job. I have only 2 years with this publishing company, and the reason I opened that, my friend, there's 2 reasons I opened that. The first one is because when I finishing my first book, writing my first book, it was a nightmare to really publish the book. With the little ones, it was a disaster that they do a very bad job. And the big ones, it was impossible. So I decided to have my own publishing company. And after that, I wrote the second book, and many of my friends, they were asking me, Juan Carlos, can I publish it with your company? And it was only 2 years ago. We already published like 36 books, my friend, and we do an amazing stuff. My company is growing so fast, and I'm so happy with that, because the second reason, my friend, I want to share that with you. Books changed my life. If I can tell you, my friend, only one thing that really make a huge difference in my life is books. Because in books, my friend, if I read this book to you, I get Randy Gage in my head, in my office, and I spend as much time as I want, and I can read over and over and over, and I can get the better of you, my friend. Because do you agree with me that when you write a book, you put all yourself into the book, everything into the book. You are completely in the book. One part of Randy Gage, of his head, of his philosophy in life, is here. So I got it, and I can read over and over and over and over and really get into my life. And books changed my life, my friend, forever. And I'm a great reader, Probably I have read like over 500 books, I don't know, since I was 22 years old, because the Amway culture, they push you a lot, to understand that it's important. And every single day I write, and I read every single day with no question. It doesn't matter if it's Saturday or Sunday, for me, it's like my breakfast. It's like the oxygen that I need every day. But my friend, let me tell you something. In Latin America, this is so sad. but Mexico has a record of the people who read the less. So that means we don't read in Mexico. We're lazy in Mexico. And I said, my gosh, books changed my life forever, and
Yeah.
people are not reading. So one of the second reason I started my publishing company is to really encourage people to read, and encourage people to write, because I believe also, my friend, that every single person has a message inside, a lesson that they learn, and a message they need to share with the world. But there is no easy way to do that, and books are amazing, but it's not easy to write a book, that. And I need to help that, Actually, my company is called WAS, that means we are solutions. It's like that we are the solution, we're the solution for the readers and for the writers to really put all these together. And we're selling a lot of books, my friend. We have already bestseller books, and we're starting like a new ways to really how to say that, distributor, I don't know the word in English, but to really put our books everywhere, in especially in social media, people who have a lot of audience, to recommend that books, and because right now this is the TV, when I was young, my friend, it was a program in Mexico. It was called Siempre en Domingo. It was a Sunday program,
Always Sunday.
Siempre en Domingo, every single Sunday, when all the family was sitting. It was a whole day program, but the conductor of the program was asking for new singers, for new stars, and it was him who decided who is going to be the star. And that means you were in Siempre en Domingo means you were going to be a star. It was amazing. But
or Don Francisco in Sábado Gigante.
Okay, this is the translation for United States. Correct.
Yeah.
But right now, there is no Siempre en Domingo anymore. Siempre en Domingo is, the big
Instagram,
the influencers, that they have like huge 5 million, 10 million followers, that they trust them. When they come and say, guys, you need to read this book, you need to read that, because, I learned that from that book, and you need that in your life. So this is the new Siempre en Domingo, I believe, in this area. So this is what we're doing right now. So, and I'm so excited, brother. We just started a reading club, and every single time at 9:00 in Mexico, it's open, and I paid, for the room, and it's a lot of people there, and it's for our publishing company, and I want to have like 10,000 people. We don't keep names, we don't keep nothing, we don't offer anything. It's just reading great books. That's it.
Amazing.
That's the only thing. And not for any company, nothing. People from network marketing and from whatever, they are joining more and more, because we read good books, only 30 minutes. And I believe, brother, that only 30 minutes of a good book can change your day. This is what I believe. But 30 minutes not only change your day, but if you change your day, you change your life.
Yeah, afterward, you got to send me the details on the reading program, and we'll put it in the show notes for people.
So beautiful, my friend. Of course, I will show you this. This is in Spanish, sorry, but
right. But we got a lot of Spanish people who watch these and who are bilingual. So
thank you, my friend. Thank you. And I have to be a room for 10,000 people, whatever, And just imagine, brother, we're promoting, the most important thing, I believe, that can really make a difference in people's life. And
speaking of books, there's one called Si vas a soñar, hazlo en grande. If you're going to dream big. Tell us about that book.
Yeah, it was I have a lot of love for this book, because it was my first book, my friend, this is beautiful. I will try not to cry, my friend, but when you let me tell you a story very quickly. I will try not to cry. I'm coming from a very poor family, brother. Very, very poor family. My father only studied on the 3rd grade of elementary school. My mother to the 2nd grade of middle school. So they have no education at all. And in the mind of my father, with no education, it was impossible to be successful in life. That's it. So all the jobs that he was asking to work were like very low pay jobs. It's the minimum salary in Mexico, and it's good for nothing. But we were 7 brothers and sisters, my friend. We have only 2 rooms in my house. We were living in 2 rooms. We were sleeping in 2 rooms, 7 brothers and sisters, and my parents. So just imagine, how we were growing. I was not an unhappy child. I was a very happy child, but very poor, but very happy child. So, but something happened in my life, bro. This is amazing, because my father thought that the solution for all this, it was the lottery. So every single week he was buying a lottery ticket, and he chose me. I was 7 years old, and he took my hand and say, okay, let's walk to the place 2 blocks far when you see if your ticket is the winner one. So we were walking there, my friend. But listen, Randy, what happened in these 2 blocks? He was sharing with me, when we cash this ticket, he was not saying if we win. No. When we cash this ticket, you know what? We will buy a huge house with more rooms, and we will buy a car, because we don't have a car, my friend. We will take a plane, because we never take a plane. We never have any vacations. So we will have vacations, And he started crying. When you're 7 years old, my friend, and you see your dad, having all this trust in the future, and really believe that, you believe everything. I was crying with him, and he said, when we can pay and help the children, poor children, and we will have a house next to the lake, and all these things, and I was in my heart, my friend, I remember that, I'm 55, I remember that, all the dreams were building in my imagination, because I really believe that. When we came to see, we were the winners. Of course, we were not the winners, but before it was like sad, my father bought a new one, and I said, okay, throw away this one. This is the new one. This is the winner. This is the winner ticket. Take it. And I was holding with my hands. Say, okay, I don't want to see a bird taking my ticket. And brother, it happens week after week, week after week. And you know what happened with the child, my friend? They put seeds of dreams in my head.
Yeah.
When I decided to study music, when I was growing, I realized that it was hard, and it was like, and I don't know when, my friend, I put all those dreams in a box with a lock, with a chain, in another lock with another chain. I mean, I put all my dreams, I shrink my dreams to the level of my reality instead of raise my reality to the level of my dreams. So I forgot about my dreams. But you know what, Randy? Oh, I don't want to cry, my friend, but the first time I saw network marketing, my friend, I was sitting in my parents' house, because my brother did the first meeting and nobody showed up, and he asked me to pretend to be the guest. So I was not the guest. I mean, sorry, the person who he invited. So I was sitting there watching, and I didn't like anything at all, my friend, about network marketing, about talking to people, selling stuff. I say, what the hell? So, oh my God, this is not for me. I'm a musician. I'm an artist. But what happened is this lady, the one who was showing the presentation, started talking about dreams again.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear the voice of my father there, Just imagine you have a huge house. Just imagine this car. Just imagine that you have enough money to help other people. And what happened there, my friend, I started taking all the chains and the locks on this box, and I opened again the box. And my life, brother, and the same that your life, is not other than the result of what we dream of, what is happening in our heads, what we really believe that we can achieve. And I started believing again in my dreams. That's why this book is called like that, because my life is the result of what I dream, what I really desire. And all the dreams that my father told me when I was young, I understood that network marketing was my lottery ticket. It was there, I saw the lottery ticket, my friend. And of course, I achieved much more dreams than I ever imagined. But the beauty of that is that I'm helping other people to dream, to really trust on their dreams and to really believe. So this is what is all about, this book, my friend. And it was my first book, and one day I wake up at 3:00 in the morning, and I was dreaming, with the idea of doing this book. And I started taking my telephone and I started putting some ideas together, and I couldn't sleep. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was still writing in my phone. I should go to take my computer, but
Oh,
because I
you're
didn't
doing it
know
on
how
your
long,
phone.
I was
Oh
in
my
my
God.
book writing the book, and I was writing my story. My book started the first chapter with a little bit of my story, and I remember my wife wake up and saw me, that I was 7 o'clock in the morning, chatting, crying, and she started scaring, and they say, "What's happening? Is everything okay?" And I say, "Oh yeah, I'm writing my book, and I say, "What?" And I say, "Okay, can I read it to you?" And I start reading the book, and she started crying, and it was a good sign, when she started crying, my friend, and she held my hands and say, "Please, please, please, don't stop writing a book, don't stop writing, don't stop." So people need to hear that, my friend. And in 1 year, I sold like 10,000 copies. Right now we have sold 16,000 copies. It's not a lot of books, but I never do any advertising,
Doing
nothing,
great.
just people
You're
sharing with
doing
other
great.
people. It's
You're
just the beginning.
you're doing great.
It's not a big,
I
it's not
think
a
the
big
hidden
number.
lesson in that story is the incredibly
Mhm.
wonderful job that Amway does
Yeah.
in dream
Wow.
building.
And dream building.
And I think
No
even to
question of
this
that.
day, I think they probably do that better than any other company
Any
in the
other
world.
company in the world. Yeah.
And like I say, because I think everybody in the space, including me, has to do a better job of dream building. We get so
Mhm.
caught up in the stupid stuff. Well, our infinity bonus pays 11 levels and the other company only pays 10 levels. And our company goes to Madagascar to get the cocoa beans for the hot chocolate. And you and I both went through it with Amway. They're like, okay, what kind of house do you want? How many bedrooms are in the house? Are they upstairs, downstairs? How many phones are in your house? What kind of phone? Is it a princess wall phone or is it on the, what kind of car is it? What color is that car? What
Mhm.
color is the upholstery and the seats? Is it manual or automatic? Is it, you know what I mean? They
Mhm.
forced you to create that vision in your mind of what your dreams are.
And you don't only need to dream, you also need to work hard. But what I believe, my friend, look, this is the book in English. We have this in the United States in English. If you are going to dream, do it big. Dare to live the life you deserve. But my friend, let me tell you what dreams mean for me. Meant for me. Um, my new book that I'm almost finishing, it's called the domino effect. That means when you throw one piece of the domino, the other one falls. But when you choose, when you find what is the first piece, brother, because it
Yeah.
takes only one little push in order to everything happen, by itself. And for me, my friend, is to really dream and visualize and really believe that this can be possible. And it has the energy, to throw my commitment, to throw my inside fire, to throw the hours, that I will put work in, and of course the results. And we all want the results, brother, but this is a huge piece of the domino, huge piece. And something that is incredible is that one piece has the potential to throw another piece that is 50% bigger than this one, and this
Yeah.
throws other that is bigger, 50% bigger. So, but if you for the number 53, I believe, the size, if you go with that proportion, the 53 size of this piece is as tall as the distance of the Earth to the moon. Is that the 53? Is not the 3,000? It's the 53. But I believe is that, my friend, if you have an incredible testimonial or story, that makes you dream. Stories are important, brother. Amway was a huge story builder. You really know how to share your story, how to build your story. And but if you have a good story that you're listening, you're watching, it has the potential, brother, to move from inside. This is one piece, little piece that throws. But if you allow yourself, if you slow down your walls and you really open your soul, and this little piece, brother, is willing to push a bigger piece of your fire, your fire.
Yeah.
And this is willing to push another one of your vision. And you really can see that because of this testimony, you can see, but you are able to see 50% bigger. And it's okay. I see that it is encouraged me to really believe that I can do it. If you can do it, I can do it. But what if I do believe 50% more? Because it has the potential. And then I will commit myself and really make a commitment from inside. It's not a paper that you sign. It's a really commitment. It's when you fall in love, when you have your children, it's like inside commitment, something that happened inside. But it's okay. I have this size commitment, but I have the potential to push it 50% bigger. Why not?
Yeah.
And really I commit myself, I 50% bigger. And then, my friend, it takes to the action. Do you agree with me that if you have great results in life, there's only one way? This is massive action. There's no other way. Sorry for your audience, but there is no other way. That massive action. But brother, when we're just focusing in massive action, on what you have to do, you will fail. Because when you wake up and say, okay, I need to make the goals and I need to do it, there is no other piece that is taking down this piece, my friend. But the good news is that if you start with the right piece, it has the potential, because when commitment is huge, you are willing to do whatever it takes. You don't even think about that. But when I say, okay, I have this kind of commitment, so I'm willing to put all this action, I say, no way. I will put 50% more. Or what I believe that I can do, no way. I will do 50% more. And this is the only way, my friend, the results are huge. My friend, you have been millionaire in this industry, one of the top in the world, my friend. I made a lot of money, a lot of millions of money. But what I really, really believe, brother, is that no one that really makes serious money in this business understand this. Every one of us understand that everything happens for a detonator. It was a trigger to start falling all the pieces. And we don't even know how come we were putting all these massive action. We don't even understand. How I don't know. I just feel that. I'm just doing that. How you can get all these results, I don't really know. What I feel, what I can be aware is of this something that's happening inside of me, my friend, and dreams make that happen. Stories make that happen, the one piece, find out what is the piece number one.
I think there's an equation here, a mathematical equation. And but instead of numbers, we're using elements. And the equation is when your fears are bigger than your dreams, you don't act. Exactly. You procrastinate. When your dreams are bigger than your fears, you act, you take action, and you get results. And that creates this self-perpetuating cycle of good. And that's why Amway is so successful, because they recognize that. That's why you and I, even though we both started with that company, we didn't make our big success with that company, but that company has done very well without you and me. Exactly. Right? They're surviving. But we both were gifted with that lesson of knowing about getting that dream. Because, and I'm really glad you brought this up, because I've touched on this with some of the other guests that I've done these shows with. It's not sexy to talk about the work, because everybody's doing that Andrew Tate shit that, you just be an influencer and you be a life coach and, you're going to be a millionaire in 6 months. No, that's not how it works in the real world. In the real world, it's 1 a.m. You got your hands on the steering wheel. You're driving back from some home presentation you did an hour and a half away. You got to be up at 6 a.m. because the alarm clock's going to go off and you're going to have to go back to your job tomorrow. And you got the windows in the car down to let in the cold air because you're afraid you're going to fall asleep. And you're driving that way home, and you get home and you crash. And then you go to work the next day at the bank or the construction site or the restaurant or the bus you drive or whatever you do. And then you might the next night. You might run home, grab something in a drive-through, take a shower, put on a clean shirt, and you go do a presentation somewhere else again. And you put in the work. And it is really, for someone like me, who's, for people are always shocked to know, but I had a lot of social anxiety. I know now the reason, because I've been diagnosed on the autism spectrum. When I grew up, we never heard of that. They just thought he's weird, So I was just a weird kid. And I'm very nervous around people. So of course, I'm always going to be most comfortable if I'm sitting at home in front of my computer in my back office, refreshing the page to see if there's any new signups, any new orders. I'm comfortable. But you know what? When you're comfortable, you're not growing your business.
Exactly.
When you're uncomfortable, you're growing your business. So for me, it wasn't the drive home when I'm falling asleep. It was the drive to that house, because I knew I was going to a strange house. And as someone like me, if you're just so crazy like I am, you have to check the route in advance. You got to plan it 3 times. You think about traffic and how early you leave and what happens if this happens and what happens if that happens. And you're running all these disaster scenarios in your mind, the worst case scenario, because that's the mentality that my family had when I grew up. And it took me many, many years to break that cycle. Right. And I was thinking, I'm going to this house where there's going to be strangers, and I'm going to have to make small talk in somebody else's living room. And there's going to be people there who don't want to be there. They had their arm twisted behind their back to make them show up. They hate it. They think it's a pyramid scheme. They're waiting to ambush me. So my stomach is churning, my molars are grinding, I'm nervous, my palms are sweating. But that's when I'm growing my business, is when I'm uncomfortable. Yeah. And I adopted the mantra. In English, I said, I will do today what others will not do, so that tomorrow I can do what others cannot do. Uh-huh. And that was my mantra. And I said over and over. So when I'm driving to that house every, 3 nights a week, I'd be working the business, man. I will do today what others will not do, so that tomorrow I can do what others cannot do. Today at 4:00, there'll be a baseball game that I will be watching that I love, because I'm a big baseball fan. Okay. On Thursday, I will be flying to another state to play in a softball tournament, because I love to play softball. I can do today what others cannot do, because a lot of people, 4:00, they could never be at a baseball game because they have to be at their job. They could never leave Thursday and fly to some other state to go to a 3-day tournament to play a recreational thing. They got 1 week vacation a year or 2 weeks vacation a year, and their schedule is inflexible. The message I think we have to get out there is, no, this isn't free money. No, you're not going to be a millionaire in 60 days. No, it's not easy. It is hard. Network marketing is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Exactly. If you're willing to do the simple stuff, it's so worth it. If you will be willing to pay that price. And the 2 things I do to set the stage, I'd be curious how you handle this, but one of the things I get a commitment from every person I sponsor is, I want a 1-year commitment from you that you're going to do the business at least 10 or 12 hours a week for 1 year. You won't look left, you won't look right. And at the end of the first year, you and I will sit down and we'll have a conversation, and you can evaluate your progress. And if you tell me after 1 year, Randy, I did what you asked for 1 year, I don't like the results, I'm going to quit, I promise you, I will not try to talk you out of it. I will say, okay, that was our agreement. So you don't feel you've got enough progress and you're going to quit. You have my blessing. I will never bother you again.
Wow.
And because I know if they really do that, if they really give me at least 10 hours a week for a year, at the end of the year, they're going to have some customers who buy every month. Exactly. And that's money they're not going to want to walk away from. They're going to have some kind of a team that's producing some kind of residual income. I know that income is going to be over the tipping point. It's going to be more than they spend on their own products, their personal development, and their events. So, because those are the three things I'm asking them to invest in: their own products, their self-development, and attending the major events. And I know after a year, if they give me at least 10 hours a week, they will be ahead of the equation. But the other thing I do is I say, what we're working on here is a 2 to 4 year plan. I'm not telling you in 2 years or 4 years, you're going to have more money than Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates. What I'm saying is, if you give me 2 to 4 years, we will have built such a strong foundation.
Exactly.
You will have the residual income. And during that 2 to 4 years, I don't want you, the first 2 years, I don't want you trying to live out of the business at all. Now, great. After 18 months, you're now making $3,000 a month or $5,000 a month. I do not want you buying a new car. I want you to pay off your credit cards, pay off your car payment, pay off your mortgage. I want to get you debt free as soon as possible. And I want you investing in your business by long distance lines. So, you live in Bolivia, but we're going to open up Costa Rica. I want you to invest. You've got contacts in Costa Rica. Your team has contacts in Costa Rica. I want you to invest that money. And then after 2 years, 4 years, now you can start saying, okay, now I'm making $30,000 a month.
I want to change my car.
I'm taking out my taxes. I'm taking out my tithe. I've got, I'm reinvesting in the business, and it still gives me $10,000 a month of enjoyment money. However, and I can take the trip to Dubai and stay at the Burj Al Arab Hotel, or I can, go pay cash for my new Bentley Continental GT or whatever the case. But those two things, one is getting the 1 year commitment of give me that 10 hours plus for 1 year. And then the other thing is framing it as a 2 to 4 year plan. And then
terrific.
When they say, oh, but that guy over there in the MLM crypto scam, he's making $30,000 his third month in the business. I'm like, remember, we had this agreement. That $30,000 a month with him is bullshit. He's going to go to prison at some point. Do you understand that? If somebody is in an MLM crypto scam right now, at this point in time, with everything we know, they're either a moron, a criminal, or both.
Yeah.
There's no debate. So don't come to me with this guy's making $30,000 a month in OneCoin, or I read at the work from home website that this person is making $2 million a month in Omega Pro, which is now Go Global. No, you can't sell that bullshit to me for criminals, or they're morons, or they're both. Give me your 10 hours a week. What's the next time we can get one of your candidates in front of a presentation? And to me, that's how I keep my people anchored, right? That's how I kill the distractions. Because, at our level, once you're a big leader, leader with a big team, it's all about killing distraction and keeping them focused, because every day, every person in your organization has an existential, I hope I'm saying that right, decision to make.
Okay.
That decision is, should I build my business today, or can I find a distraction which will give me an excuse not to build the business today?
Exactly.
Every day they wake up, they face that fundamental question. Should I build my business, or can I find a distraction? So they're going to call you up. Juanca, we have a problem. The company only makes the protein shakes in vanilla and
Chocolate.
strawberry and chocolate.
That's
And
it.
my friends want a guava flavored shake.
Exactly.
Can we arrange a meeting with the president of the company and explain why we need guava shakes?
I love it.
No, Maria, we can't do that. We don't control the wind. We only control what direction we turn the sail.
Wow.
We can only sell the products we have. We have vanilla, strawberry, chocolate. Any
That's
other
it.
product is a distraction. And you know, I've trained you, we have to kill distractions. So when is the next presentation that you can put a candidate in front of the presentation, right? That's what, as a leader, that's what you do all day, every day, is you help your people make the right answer to that fundamental question that they wake up to every day.
Love it, my friend. And I love it because it's so simple, my friend, and you really teach people, to have the right mentality, the right mindset. Because when you believe that you will get rich in 2 months, you will get disappointed and you quit the business. But I love how you tell them, if you do this for 1 year long, then you can take the decision, and I will not argue with that. And I love it because it's a long-term decision. I believe, brother, that this is what I tell my new people. You don't have to think your network marketing business as 100. I don't know how to say in English. 100 meters run. You have to think this is a marathon. In a marathon. That means
a marathon instead of a sprint. We call it sprint in English. Yeah,
exactly. So you have to take your time, but you cannot stop. You as long as you keep walking, even though you are not so fast walking, running, but don't stop. Don't stop. Take your step, but don't stop. But sometimes when you have to run fast, but then get in your way, and this is mindset. And I love how the people think. When they want to quit, they say, my friend, remember, you have only been here 2 weeks. Remember, this is a marathon. It's a marathon. It's a long marathon. It takes years. So, and I say, okay, now I remember, and I love that, my friend, to really think in that direction. And I love, Randy, the way you clarify everything and the way you see things so easy, the way you teach all these stuff so easy that people really get it, brother. That's why you are who you are, and I love that, my friend.
Speaking of that, Jaime started the Cumbre de Líderes, which is Leaders Summit. So many years ago, him and I are now launching this Duplication Nation. And so I'm joined him with this summit in November. I think we're doing the next one.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we're calling it Cumbre Palooza because we're expanding it and just making it this incredible multi-day experience to transform people's careers. You have been a big supporter of this event for all those years and participated in it and promoted it and supported it in a big way, as you are this one coming up. And first of all, thank you for that. But why do you do that? What do you think the role of events are for people who are building in our space?
Thank you very much, Randy. And there is more than one answer for that. I remember the first time I met Jaime, and he was sharing with me the first time. He wanted to do an interview with me, but before that, we were chatting like an hour. And really knowing each other, and I was so impressed, of the mission that he has, the mission to really heal the name of network marketing. They really put all these companies together as one company, and I believe, brother, this is something that is always in my heart. I always put the interest of my team before my own interests, and I will put the interest of the company before my team interests. But I believe the right way, my friend, is to put the interest in the industry before even the interest of my company. So, because we are only one family, and as long as we are as one family, and as long as we are together, as long as we help and support each other, you know, we cannot succeed. We don't really get, together. I believe on that. So when he was sharing me all this vision that he has, I just fell in love, brother. And I say, Jaime, this is something I wanted to do long ago, but it requires sacrifice. And one of the sacrifices, probably right now, I'm not willing to do, I told him, is because it's hard when you are building one company, because it's conflict of interest. You're building one company, the other people will follow you. If you're like active building the company, so and I'm active building, so this is impossible for me to do. But you know what, Jaime, I can support what you are doing. In not not resigning on my check. I can still support you, and I really fell in love with the movement, and I'm really believer that I was there since day one, and encouraging him, and I saw all this process, hard process, because he's breaking all in United States. You have many conventions like that, many summits. Many leaders do that in the United States, but not in Latin America, brother. In Latin America, we have like more individual mentality. We protect our people, because it's danger that if you open your people to other speaker, because it's dangerous. The stage is dangerous. You give power to someone to put in the stage in front of your people. You are giving this person power, but if this person has not the right values in his heart, your team is in danger. So it's delicate stuff, my friend. And since day one, I say, of course I will do that. And it took me a time, I will confess, to start like putting my people there. I said, okay, guys, you can go there, because I didn't know who else was there. It was like, it takes time. It takes time to really trust, my friend. But as Jaime is a person with that values very well planted, and
Yes.
and it's easy to trust him. It's very easy. It's very easy to trust this guy. It's very easy to trust him. So little by little, my friend, I saw this thing going bigger and bigger, and of course, more and more, I'm promoting this in every single summit, more and more, and I always talk about him, and I always talk about this movement. I really love the movement. I really love what Jaime is doing, and right now that is getting together with you, brother, with all your experience and all your I love the mentality that you have, how easy you put things, for everybody to understand. You're a very simple man, and simplicity is the word that I put in Randy Gage. Randy Gage is simple, and together with the heart and with the passion and the commitment and the that Jaime has, I believe, brother, that you're going to do something really, really big, and I'm so glad, that you count on me, to be part of the speakers. So whatever I can do, I'm so glad to really participate, and I always ask a lot, Jaime, to really ask me, to be part of this, and I love him. I love him the same that you, it's a very easy to love this man, and especially what he's doing. It's not easy what he's doing, but it's great, my friend. It's great. He was willing to do what many of us aren't willing to do, because he gets sacrifices, and he did that for all of us. All these sacrifices for the industry, and I will always be thankful for him to doing that, and I can do nothing more than support him, my friend. What else can I do but supporting him forever?
Yeah. As a guy, I met him originally. He was on my team and became one of.
I know that.
He became one of the leaders in my team. And there are two kind of leaders that you get. One kind is the field generals. If you give them an order, they can execute the order perfectly.
Exactly.
But don't ask them to think about the battle strategy, because they're not able to do that. They can only execute
all orders,
command. Yeah, even though they have a leadership title, a leadership position, they're not a critical thinker. What I found with Jaime is he's one of those critical thinkers. And so, because like for me, once a year, I would get my top people together and we'd go to Fiji or Tahiti or Hawaii or someplace where we could just have an incredible experience. And then we would plan. the strategy. Hey, what is the recruiting platform? What does our system look like? Do we need to change out any of the books we're using, or are we missing a video? Do we need a video somewhere in the candidate pathway? And doing the critical thinking, strategic stuff. And he's brilliant in that way. And that book, I still say his book, Leaders Die, Movements Don't, is just incredible. I wouldn't give it to every new distributor, but every leader, that's just required reading, because it isn't even an MLM book. It's leadership book, right? He's talking about cults. He's talking about religions. He's talking about politics. He's talking about how human beings are motivated to act, the psychology of human achievement. So that, I've spent 30 years studying that topic, right? That's my sweet spot. And so when he was actually, I do a program for authors to help them develop a book, and he developed that book in my program. And I was just over the moon. Every couple of weeks, he would send in a new chapter, and I'm like, oh my God, this is electrifying. This is what people need. That book is just, it's on such a level of brilliance that he needs more credit for the brilliant job he does with that book. And now I'm so excited with him about Cumbre Palooza and what we're doing with that. Because like you say, we've got Art Jonak here in the United States, who does like the safe event that everybody in the profession can come to. And you can bring your team and know nobody's trying to steal them away, right? But you're right. There's never been that in Latin America. It's never been offered before.
Never, my friend. Correct. Never. And it's so beautiful, brother, because we need only one person who is willing to do that. And we are the followers. I'm a follower, He's doing that. So I say, okay, I will take the block with you, and I will go to the battle with you, my friend. And he's amazing. I love the way he thinks. And this book is brilliant, my friend. As you say correctly, it's not only for MLM, it's a leadership book. Every single leader in the world has to read that book, and to really create a movement, not only to lead, but to really create something that will live longer than your own life. This is such an amazing thing, brother. You see how books are amazing. I really love talking about books, and I love Jaime. I don't know if you know, but we are now doing a new book for Jaime together. We're like going to publish his new book, and we're so excited.
I didn't know you were doing that. I didn't know.
Yeah, we're so excited today because I will not say nothing else, but it's amazing book, my friend. This is, believe me, this is the best book I ever see about leadership in the world. So I'm so excited, brother. But right now we are doing something bigger than that, because I have other huge friends. Like one of them is one of my partners, and he's very, very huge in social media. It's Jorge Serratos, and this guy has an amazing story, and he's an influencer, so huge influencer. But I put them together, my friend, and he interviewed Jaime, and he was like blown out. It was the Jorge Serratos, has the podcast, the #1 podcast in Latin America about business. So it was great, that they were like doing an interview, because I know, my friend, when this podcast, it's in social media, Jaime will sell a lot of books. I believe that because we were promoting a lot about that book. But you know what? They really get like this together. And Jaime invite Jorge for the first time to be in the Cumbre for someone who is not a network marketing builder, and he was amazing. They really connect, my friend, an amazing way. And I believe in synergy, in synergy. Like 1 + 1 is equal to 3, and I'm so happy that now you and Jaime are doing things together, because I believe, the result, it's much, much bigger than the things separately, that we can do separately. And you are so talented, both of you, my friend. And I'm so excited. So please keep me on your iPad to be speaking everywhere, don't throw me away. because I want to see what you are going to do, guys, because you are so great, guys. Both of you, my friend.
You're always going to be top of mind. We're always going to look to you for participation because of who you are and what you do and the work you've accomplished. So going back to books, to Calabaza Gigante.
Yes, I got this.
Your giant pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of a book about, would you say it's about getting your priorities straight?
Yeah.
Or your time management? What would be the best way to describe what you're trying to do with that?
Probably both, but more than that, my friend, is how to build a huge project in your life. And it requires a lot of things, but how to really, really create something huge in your life. This is all about that. And let me explain to you. I will try to explain in English. Actually, I believe this is the first time explaining that in English. So let me see if I get it. Okay. You will help me, my friend, because you speak Spanish, so you will help me. Okay. The nature give us a formula, to really build huge pumpkins. You say pumpkin, right? Pumpkin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for people who watching, it's called the giant pumpkin, the art of cutting small pumpkins out of your life.
Correct. This is the right translation of the title of the book. Okay, so but let me explain to you how it happens. The first time I remember, I saw on the internet a big, huge pumpkin. I said, "What is this? It's a Photoshop or some kind of managing the DNA or whatever."
Yeah.
And when I was really looking deeper, and reading, and I understood that no, there is nothing wrong. The nature has a formula to really create a giant pumpkins. This is a natural way. And I say, how come? And the agriculture people are very excited to really do that. There is a contest, you win the contest, you receive money, and then you sell all the seeds for a lot of price, and you make a lot of money really if you win. So it's a lot of enthusiastic around this, And when I was reading more and understanding more than that, my friend, it was something amazing for me. It was like, what the hell? The formula is really great, and it can be applied to the life perfectly well. So this is what happened, you put a seed. First of all, it has to be a correct seed, because not all the pumpkins in the world has the potential to become giant. It has to be a special one. Actually, it's called the Atlantic giant pumpkin. It's a special one. It's the only one who has this in the inside of the seed. Okay, you plant the seed and you put a lot of water, because it requires a lot of water. And then you see a plant growing, growing all over the field like crazy, my friend. It's a huge plant, at the size of the field, huge, with a lot of and then you see a flower, the pumpkin flower, and then you see a little pumpkins, everywhere, and they grow so fast. But the art, how you make this happen, to have a giant, is that you have to look the smallest one and you have to cut them. To be willing to cut. And this is one of the biggest things that you can learn in life, to really be willing to say no, to quit, to things that distract your attention. So you have to take out all the little ones, and then you get only one. And this plant, my friend, it's amazing. The nature is amazing. It has the ability to create new avenues, but because you just think that they are absorbing all the water and the nutrients of the earth, but there is no place that they need to send them, because there's only one pumpkin left. So they learn to create new avenues in the plant just to bring all these resources into the only pumpkin. And the inevitable result is that you get the giant pumpkin. So isn't that amazing, my friend? So that translating into life is, what if instead of having 10 projects or 20 projects, what if I decide to only choose one, my friend? Probably 2 or 3, but let's say only one. But the difficult part, brother, is to be willing to cut all the distractions and the little projects or the small projects. And they can be sexy projects. And you see the pumpkin, but this is a beautiful one. Okay, cut it. But cut it, because if not, it's impossible. You have to choose only one. So what happened, my friend? Your resources, that is time, attention, and energy. This is the 3 more important resources that you have. And there are three are limited. You can say, no, energy is not limited. Of course, because at the end of the day, you are tired. You have to rest in order to get more. It's limited. No, but the attention is limited also, my friend. You cannot put a lot of attention in only one thing for a long time. So time, attention, and energy are the three most important resources you have. So what happened if, brother, just think about that. What happened if I cut all the little projects in my life, all the distractions like the telephone or social media, all the distractions, and I put all my attention in only one project? Let me tell you what happened, brother. You get one book, great book. You get another book, you get another book, you have 15 books, or you build a huge company or huge team in MLM, exactly the same that you're doing, Randy. Randy, believe me, my friend, tell me the truth. In order for you to build something huge in that period of time, you have to be willing to renounce, to quit, to many other things, to sacrifice time and attention, probably to your kids, probably to your wife, probably to your sports. I don't know, my friend, but for a period of time, you have to put all your focus in one thing. So, and let me tell you how this book was born, my friend. I did a lecture at a conference. They invited me to do a conference. It was not MLM. It was one of my friends who was doing a big event, and they asked me to speak in that event. So I was talking about that concept, and all the audience, they were like crazy with this idea. They were all talking about that, even in the bathroom. My friends told me, in the ladies' bathroom, they were saying, "Okay, you know what? I would be willing to cut my poppins, and my husband is one of them. I will cut him." So after that, my friend, I say, "What if I decide to create a book, my friend?" But listening to that, it was 15th of November. I was in my car when we were having these conversations, and in my car, and I said, what if I create a book, not only for the people to remember what I said on the stage, but what if I create a book with all the formula there, how to manage your time, how to structure everything, to really do it, It was 15th of November, my friend. So I decided to write a book before the end of the year. So in order to be coherent with what I was teaching here, so I called my assistant and say, okay, you know what, Blanquita, cancel all my appointments. Please tell them that I have a COVID, whatever you want to tell them, but I cancel everything. I need to be totally focused for the next 6 weeks of writing a book. 6 weeks, my friend, this is crazy, 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 crazy. It was Christmas in the middle, remember that, my friend, and I put all my attention, 15, 16, 17 hours a day, researching, writing, correcting, for 6 weeks, my friend. 31st of December, 2:00 in the afternoon, my friend, I was walking to the stairs with my computer here, crying. I say, I made it, I made it. You know what happened, brother? My daughter, because we were not in Querétaro, I live in Querétaro. We were in Guadalajara because all my wife's family is in Guadalajara. So we were in Guadalajara, celebrating all these holidays. And I remember my daughter, many times came to the room because I was, brother, I was like in pajama, 3:00 in the afternoon writing, and I was so deep into the book. You know that story. So I was like that, and my daughter, she was 14 years old. She was opening the door and say, "Dad, please come down. We're all the family together. We're playing. Please stop writing." And I was like, "What? Oh, come on. Let me read it to you." And I say, "Okay, Pa, I love your book, but it's Christmas time. Please go down, and share with the family." And I say, sorry. But when it happens, like for the 5th time, I remember I asked her to sit with me, and I say, "Darling, probably you don't understand right now, but this is the time that I need to put, because all the ideas are coming to my head. This is the time I have to put all my attention here, darling. Let me read to you, all the messages that people wrote about this other book, how the book changed their life, This is not for me. This is not for you. I'm sacrificing all this because for all these people, they need this message. And then you know what? I love you because you're also sacrificing time with me, and thank you for that. But let me give you something. I will give you a gift for advance. When I print, the first books, the first book that I will give away will be for you, dedicated. One of the whatever, it will be for you. and it will have all, my heart, I say, thank you, darling, because you were paying the price, not to see, not to be with me in the Christmas. So, brother, when I came down with my computer in my hands, and at 2:00 in the afternoon, in the 31st of December, the first person who watched me was my daughter. She was on the floor playing with the kids, and she saw me and she ran to me, brother. And she only hold my hands and say, "You made it? You made it?" And I started crying, and she braced myself. And I said, I knew it. I knew you were, And now, she has, of course, the first book, signed by me. And she always talk with his friends. Look at this. This is the first book my father dedicated to me, because it is the first, the number one. And what I believe, brothers, is that sometimes, people will not understand in the beginning when you pray that price, because many people didn't understand when I was building as crazy network marketing, brother. One day, one year before the pandemic, I took 250 planes. That's insane, brother. Do you know what my brother-in-law was talking about that, and say, okay, you're a millionaire, but your work is crazy. You will always have that voices, going around, brother. The people that do not understand what is really to be willing to pay a huge price for something. But there's no shortcut, brother. There's no shortcut. This is the only way. But you know what? My daughter probably, brother, will think about my father wasn't there playing the game. But she will always remember, brother, that I made it. And I accomplished what I promised, and I sacrificed whatever it takes. And I believe, brother, this lesson will teach her the only way to really do huge things in life. There's no other way, and when she reads the book, she understands. And she told me that, after reading the book, I understand why you have to sacrifice. So I already understand. You have to unbalance your life for a period of time, in order to gain something huge. I understand. And I love you for that, And brother, your results in life, whatever is your results, it's the big training, the big lesson for your children or the people who is watching you.
100%. And this is a subject I'm training on right now with 3 different companies, because that I'm working with now, creating some kind, either an upcoming major event or a live streaming for the leadership team. And all 3 of them, I'm working on this message of this sacrifice, of the moment of time that we're in right now. So, for people who are watching this, because I know there'll be people watching it 10 years from now, right? We're recording this in April 2023. And at this moment, I'm telling my clients and the leaders in my coaching program, you got to go all in right now. This is a moment in time. The pandemic has upended the entire world. Millions and millions and millions of jobs are being laid off. There's all kind of new people who are evaluating this business who would have never looked at it 6 months ago or 1 year ago. I personally believe the world is going into a recession right now. The U.S. banking system is really in trouble right now.
I know.
In Mexico, the political situation is horrible. In Peru, it's terrible in this moment. Venezuela is a complete train wreck. Even Europe, Asia, a lot of places, there's some serious financial repercussions happening. And people are going to be desperate for what we can offer right now in terms of side gigs, residual income, secondary source of income. And, what you did with your daughter is what I'm telling people to do, is have that conversation with your family and make a deal.
Make a deal.
Negotiation. Like, I need a season of growth, or I need 2 seasons of growth. Because this is a moment, and I really do believe this, we're going to look back at this time and say, this was a golden era for network marketing. We brought millions of new people into the profession who had never looked at it seriously before, and huge growth happened across the sector. So you make that negotiation, and when it's done, we're all going to go as a family to Disney World, or we're all going to go as a family on a cruise, or then we're, and if, I may not see all of your soccer games for right now, but we will do this in the future. And because there are things we control, there's things we don't control. We don't control the worldwide economy. And the truth is, when the worldwide economy is doing horrible, our business is usually doing great because more people look at our business. We're counter-cyclical. And so when you get these opportunities, like for me, I remember 2008, and it was just an economic meltdown in the US here. And we were bailing out all of the big banks and insurance companies and investment companies, and the economy was cratering. And I had growth from 2008 to 2010. I remember that,
Randy.
Just stratospheric growth.
Like nobody, brother, in the world. You were going like nobody in the world. Your name was on the top in the world. I remember that very well. Exactly. That's right.
And if I would have said, well, I'm going to keep my life in balance.
It's impossible.
Balance is it's a myth. Nobody is ever in balance. Okay. If you're, my mother I'm going to be going home to visit my mother next month. She's at an age in her life where I don't know how much longer I'm going to have with her. So I'm going to have more time with her. I make more time to call her. I make more time to send things. So I might go out of balance. And everybody watching goes through this. You have an elderly parent or elderly grandparents, and you become a caretaker. Maybe your child gets sick with a really tough diagnosis, and you have to go out of balance taking care of your child for a while. Then your boss, your company buys a new company, or they open a new division, and your boss needs you to do overtime for the next 3 months. You'll consciously choose to get out of balance for that time. And the secret is doing the long-term view, looking at the big picture, and mindfully choosing which area of your life you want to be out of balance right now. Because you cannot ever be perfectly in balance for more than 1 second. Because the second something is going to change, right?
Exactly, brother. Exactly. So 2 things: probably to choose your project, your punk thing very well, and to see this is it. And as you say, my friend, this is no better time that really build network marketing in this time. So choose this as your big pumping, and probably 90 days, brother. 90 days, put in everything, and negotiate, make a deal with everyone around, say, okay, in 90 days, you will not see me. In 90 days, I will not go to play. In 90 days, I will not go to dinner. In 90 days, I will work as crazy, and then after that, I will compensate. This is the formula. I will compensate, and make a deal. But also, brother, if someone is going to do that, I encourage him to really make it. Because if you say, give me 90 days and you do nothing, and you don't really focus, and you lose your time and energy, nobody will ever believe you, not even yourself. You lose confidence in yourself. So you make it happen, brother. And it's not easy, but make it happen. So you know what? I did my word, so I need this to happen. So I will do whatever it takes to happen, to make it happen, brother. And I believe this is important. So to do whatever it takes, and it will make you so proud, and people will be proud of you. And if you do great things in life, brother, as we were talking about, how you get inspired with the testimonial, with the stories of other people, when no matter where they came from, what they achieved, and you get so inspired. I believe, brother, when you're willing to really do a great things in life, your achievements will be the piece one of the puzzle, a piece one that will really inspire many, many people to decide to do great things in their life. as you was doing, my friend. You have been such an incredible inspiration for the whole industry, but not for how well you speak, not for how incredible you write, but because of your results. Well, you have shown the world that this is possible, and this is possible. And you don't have any special abilities, only to be willing to work. This inspiration, well, in 2008, I hear your name a lot, and you were like inspiration for everybody, even though we don't know each other at that time, but for me, it was like I know you. It was like, all right, engage, and I was seeing you exploding in the world, and I say, my goodness, it is possible. It is possible to not only build locally but globally, like you were doing, and really influence people. I saw a lot of videos about you doing the presentations in the little social media that we have in right now, YouTube, and I was so impressed, brother, how easy you explain, how easy you put all these concepts and make sense, and I was copy all these from you, and it's like, okay, he explains so easily the complaint, I'm talking about all these bonuses and all these, oh my God, it's so complicated. I will make it easy. So, and my friend, you have been the piece number one of the domino, of many people, and I'm one of them, my friend, and thank you for that. Thank you for that, my friend.
Well, thank you. I'm extremely honored and humbled to hear that. So I appreciate that. And I want to make clear to everybody, you made a choice, like when you did the book, but they need to know about you is, number one, you're Latino, and number two, you have 5 children, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So obviously, family is really important to you and a big part of your life. Can you talk about that a little?
Yeah, for sure, my friend. But I believe, families is what really give us the purpose, the energy to really do something great, And when I take a rest and I say, okay, why I'm doing all this, it's because of my family, bro. There's no reason, It's not because of me. It's not for me. It's for what we can left to our children. It's because I want my family to be happy, and of course, I need to understand that in order to build something big, I need to sacrifice time with them sometimes. But I do compensate, my friend. I do compensate, My wife and I will always build together network marketing, and we have a deal with our children. Let's listen to that. And I say, okay, guys, you will not see us in 90 days, okay? Because we will be traveling all over the world, working as crazy. For 90 days, you will not have time. You will not have parents for 90 days. But when we finish, because our goal, is become this new rank or whatever, and you are part of this, just staying at home, and understanding that means that you're part of this. But you know what, guys? After we finish this 90 days run, we will take a cruise with no phones all together for 10 days, whatever you choose. My friend, I took 19 cruises with my children, 19. So just imagine every single time that we were like 90 days and then a cruise, 90 days and then a cruise, 19 times. And they love the cruises, my friend. And when they're in the cruises, love with a brother with no phone, and it's important, no phones, being 100%. 100% daddy, and mom, and talking to them, and those are things, brother, that they will never forget. Promise. They will never forget that. They can forgive, the time you were not there.
Oh, 100, yeah, for sure. Do you involve them at all in helping with the business? Like putting stickers on brochures, or do you get them involved in stuff like that?
Especially when they were more little ones, we were at the time we were doing like CDs. We record CDs to send all of the CDs, and we have the machines to burn the CDs and to put the label in, and then the box, and they were helping us all these, and I was paying them. You do that, I will pay you. And right now, my older daughter, she was helping me in last convention selling the books. We have a table of all of the books of all our authors, and she was helping me, organizing all the selling the books, but not really in network marketing, brother. It's like I never tell them to do network marketing. Actually, they receive all the benefits of network marketing. They know all the people around us about network marketing. They have a lot of friends that are the children of all the leaders in network marketing. They travel a lot, we travel a lot, etc. But I respect a lot about the call in the heart each and every one of them. One of
Yeah.
them do cine stuff, they film, and another one do like graphics in the computer, and 3D graphics and all this stuff, and he loves that, and he really loves that, and the other ones are like artists, and a dancer, and I say it's okay. The other one is a pianist, the little one is a pianist, the same as I, and I love that he's a pianist because I'm also a pianist, so I'm okay, with that. The two little, they're little, are 16 and 15 years old right now. They're little, so and of course they help me a little bit. Not really involved in my business. I have several businesses, and they're not really involved right now. But it's okay sometimes, Randy, that they like took their own call, and I support them. They like riding the horses, they like horses. I never put in a horse in my life. For me, it's like, but my wife loves that, they love that, and they spend a lot of time on that. I say that's great, this is their call. And I respect that, brother. And I'm so happy, whatever they decide to do, I'm so happy. If they want to do network marketing, of course I will be very happy and I will support them a lot, But yesterday I was thinking, brother, how incredible it is that, for example, that you are like a huge reference for everyone of what is a real leader in network marketing, But you, brother, you don't have to especially teach your children, because probably they will take different path. But you know what, Randy, I'm your child here, and you have many childs. You have many childs that you are teaching. Many channels around the world, that you are teaching. Your example is teaching all of them, and I need to understand that. Probably my children will not follow exactly my path. They will follow my principles. They will follow my values, but they will not follow my path, and that's okay. But the beauty, brother, is when I turn my face and I see thousands and thousands of people, they want to be my children, and I say, okay, guys, because I don't know. It's something weird that yesterday I was thinking just about that. So weird, that's because probably you are not the mentor for your children for the direction or the path they want to take. Especially if they want to raise a horse, I know nothing about that. They need another mentor. I will be mentoring something different, but not there, in principles, in values, in energy, in example. But I believe, brother, that my results, my example will be enough for them to understand the formula for whatever they choose to do. They have enough of MLM. Believe me, they have enough for me. And they have enough. They don't need to do that. And something weird. It's something happening in my head yesterday, kind of weird.
No, but the lessons they learn work even when when they were doing the CDs and you were paying them to do the CDs. Those lessons are so valuable. And as for kids, I don't have any children, so of course that means I am the world's preeminent expert on how to raise children, right? all the people with no children tell their friends with children how to raise them. So I'm guilty of that. But I think, to what you're saying of setting, you're doing for your kids the same as your team. You model the behavior for them, and then you become the moral compass. So especially when they're little, they idolize you and they want to do everything just like you. And then when they just turned like teenage, that's when the aliens from outer space come and take over their body, and they hate you and don't want to be seen.
Yeah, and they want to do the opposite that you do.
Right. And then the aliens leave and they get older and they really remember and respect the lessons that they got from you, because you model the behavior for them.
You see how you are an incredible father, my friend, even though you don't have children. You see? You got it, brother. You got it.
I have two more things I want to talk to you about. You got anything else on your list you want to jump to?
Randy Gage is the only thing in my list.
All right. So for people who don't know, you were a concert pianist. which is an incredible accomplishment. And the discipline and the work and is there lessons from doing that serve you in your other life and business? And can you share any thoughts about that?
Wow, my friend, thank you for bringing it. And nobody asked me that ever, so it's a beautiful answer for that. Even though I never, make money in music, it was my dream to be a musician, because one day I saw someone playing the piano, and in my heart, I felt like I want to do that forever. I want to be a pianist. In my country, being a pianist is not a good thing if you want to have money. You know what I mean? It's like you're an artist in my country, Mexico. If you're an artist, it's like so far to really get something like good stuff in money. But what I want to tell you is that, brother, in order to become a musician, in order to play an instrument, there are certain principles that you need to learn. And one of them is discipline. You have to repeat, repetition, over and over and over and over. And when you are tired, brother, you have to rest. And then over and over and over again, repetition. And you understand something, the matter of the skills is repetition. So as much as you repeat something, you become better on that. You have mastery, you say? Mastery. Mastery. Yeah. You have mastery if you repeat as much. And the second thing that I learned is that when you have a new piece that you have to play, and it looks impossible, brother, because it's so difficult and it requires, there are like some parts that are really difficult, to play, mechanically, and you don't have the ability. Your fingers doesn't have the ability. Your mind doesn't have the ability to really think all these together. I learned something amazing, brother, is to take all these mass so complicated and to cut in a little pieces, and by stopping the time, this is the key, stopping the time. So you stop the time and you shrink all this problem, and you take only one note or two notes, and that's it. And you practice those, and probably it's very slow because you slow the time. And you put all your attention just to solve a little piece. When it is solved and you practice and it's already done, you get the little one, only the little one, the next one, brother, until it's done. And then you put them together. And sooner or later, you have the whole difficulty part fixed. You don't have to play everything from the top and the bottom, because if you do that, you always play this part wrong. And you practice something wrong, you will create a perfectly way to play it wrong. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So what happened, brother, is that I learned how to stop the time and to really get mastery, and to really get excellence in the little details, brother, because this is the difference. Nobody take the time to really fix the little details. So what I saw in network marketing is that, first of all, in order to really become a master in the principles that you have to do over and over to really become rich in this industry, like doing your list, like contacting, like inviting, like doing a presentation, follow up, promoting. There's certain things, principles, brother, that you have to be excellent. You have to be a master there, and the only way, there's no shortcut, is to practice this a lot. And then your intuition, start learning, okay? I don't really like the way I connect, what should I do different? What if I change this world? That's why I was learning from you, the way you explain the complex so easily. And I was learning, oh my God, I do it so complicated, and I learn. So I learn, I practice. After I learn, I practice. So I understood well, brother, that practice was the key of whatever I wanted to master. Practice. I learned from music. But the second thing is, I really want to do great in something. I have to stop and to really understand and to really practice little pieces until it's already fixed, until I got it, and of course, brother, even though I make no money in music, I play every single day. There is no more happiness than sitting on my piano and play a piece. and there's no more happiness in my life than that, believe me. And right now that my son is playing the piano, I play also violin, and we play together. This is, my friend, this is the most beautiful moment in my life, I can tell you. Most beautiful moment. This is like, oh my God. This is, I cannot ask for more than that, and I love how my kid enjoys that, and we play and we stop, and I teach him, my friend, how to stop the time, how to fix, and I say, if it's something wrong, don't continue, just stop and fix it. Stop and don't go. Because if you play 100 times bad, you will play perfectly bad. So stop and fix it. I teach him how to do that, and when I travel, whatever, when I come back and I see him playing some very difficult piece perfectly, and I said, my goodness, he's learning how to do this, how to do things the perfect way, my friend. And when you do one thing in life, you do everything in life. So I learned to really masterize the things in a very deeply way. I became very perfectionist. That's why in my books, I'm very perfectionist in everything, in everything that I do. I really love the perfection. I really love the do things like really correct, really right.
My friend, I am so grateful we had the chance to spend this time. We're going to have to do this again. I'm telling everybody this. This is just chapter 1. We'll have to definitely do a chapter 2 at some point. But you're out there in the space. You're working with companies. You know the business intimately. What do you think is the big challenge we're facing? Or what are you excited about the future? Or where do you think we're going? I'd be curious, any final thoughts you have on the profession?
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit first my position in the profession, my friend. I love this industry as crazy, brother. I protect this industry as crazy. But since the pandemic, brother, something happened in my heart. Let me explain to you, because probably you are related with this happening with my heart, probably it's the age, probably it's over 50, you feel, I don't know. But after writing my first book, after the book, when I saw my book get into another companies, brother, and another industries, not MLM, something happened inside of me and said, what if I can do a little bit something more than Randy or more than Jaime, look here. What if I can really not only impact my team or my company, but others' company, others' teams? So it's hard, brother, this that I'm want to tell you, but something in my heart started growing, and I said, probably my call, my next mission is to really take difficult step, brother. And this difficult step is sacrifice a huge, huge check, in order to give away all these incredible training that many, many mentors gave to me, and all the experience that I have. And why not be able to help other people, other my check on other than my personal economy, and what if I embrace that industry the way that you are doing, brother, and the way that I don't know if this is a good message for everyone, but I want to be just coherent with my feelings, with my inner voice, with what I feel, and I believe my life right now and all my heart, as you see how passionate I talk about books, how passionate I talk about helping others. And probably this second part of my life, I will dedicate more to create an impact globally, not only for one team, for one company, for the world, brother. I think this is my goal, and I have to be, brave to really say, okay, I listening to this call and I say yes to this call. It's not an easy thing, brother. But I don't know if you were expecting this answer, but I will just say the truth that this is what is happening. So, but I'm in love, my friend. You're asking your question is that when I see the industry going, I see an industry, brother, that will change a lot. It's changing. It's already changing because the world is changing, and it cannot be the same thing. And one of the things that is changing is that there are more people than you and me and Jaime right now that I say, you know what? I will be willing to sacrifice whatever in order to help this to be only one family, one team, one voice. And our mission, the three of us, or more people, no, is protect that voice and protect that name that is taking care of the dreams of many, many people, brother. So in this time of my life, I say, okay, it's not about me anymore. It's about others. It's my I is changing, but we. This is what is happening right now. And I'm so excited, brother. I already make a lot of money. I travel the world thoroughly, so it's time to really help other people to really live the same things, and to inspire more and more people globally. You were talking about the principle of prosperity. And when you were talking about that, I was thinking, one of the principles, I believe, brother, is that, money comes, prosperity is equal to the value that you bring to a huge amount of people. So what is happening right now in that moment in my life is I want to bring more value to much more people, to the entire world. I'm not concerned about finances and money and prosperity, but I know that some way it will come. If it comes, it's okay. But if I already focus on really giving a lot of value to a lot of amount of people and really good value, brother, I'm so happy with that. This is my goal, and I have to follow my goal. I have to respect my goal, and you have been also an inspiration for me for knowing that. Let me say, brother, and I love the way that you are free to really help other people and really help other people and really teach teams that you have no check from those organizations because you are not on that tree. So, but your intention is, if I can make all those people really go to the next level, you sleep, deeply and happier. So I am the same path than you, my friend. Probably this happened after 55 years. I don't know. But
yeah, it's a vision that it's all based on that belief that a rising tide raises all the ships. The thing people have to understand is that only works if your ship is in the water. So if people don't put their boat in the water, it isn't going to go up. But if they do the work, if they join a company, if they open, they pay the dues, they get the boat in the water, then everything we do that elevates the profession elevates all of us.
All the boats. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, Jaime and I just looked at what was going on in this last year with these MLM cryptos and these Ponzi's. And we just said, no, we're going to have to step it up. We're going to have to really dial it up. I beseech everybody who's listening to this on podcast to subscribe to that podcast. The guys watching on YouTube, I hope they subscribe to the channel. But I can tell you, we're releasing these shows one every Wednesday. And every Wednesday and Thursday, my phone blows up. Because people they have never seen this. There's nobody doing this in our profession. Nobody has ever. First of all, just the idea of doing 3-hour podcast is insane to many people, right? They expect everything's going to be a 280 character tweet on Twitter or a 59-second video on Instagram. And I just felt, no, I that's not my market. That's not the people I want to work with. I'm going to create a platform for the thinking people, for the leaders, the professionals who really want to get in and do the real world stuff. We had an incredible show with Daniel K. Song talking about comp plan changes and how that impacts people, and have an incredible show with Jeff Hagenson, which isn't out yet. You haven't seen it because it's actually going to come out tomorrow, but talking about the company perspective of CEOs and what they need and have to do to support the field. And, Daniel called it the R-rated locker room conversation. And I just, the gifts that you and the other people have shared is so substantial in terms of moving the profession forward. Wow. So people really see the business, what it can be at its ideal, at its optimal, the right way. So, my friend, I'm so grateful for you for taking the time.
Thank you.
It's really this, and I can tell you, it's just really gaining traction. And I'm looking at the podcast numbers, and we have people doing study groups on this now, where they're telling their whole team, okay, we're watching this episode this week, and then we're going to break it down and we're going to study it as a team. What are the lessons? And so we're in the vanguard of something really special here. And it's doing that stuff, that vision that we have, that you're like, for people to hear your story growing up in a house with 7 kids and 2 parents in 2 rooms. For me, I feel like a billionaire now, because I grew up in a house with 3 kids and 1 mother. My sister shared a bedroom with my mother. I shared a bedroom with my brother, and then the 4 of us shared 1 bathroom. So compared to you, I was a billionaire. But for me, I think it was pretty simple beginning. I was expelled from high school. I don't have any diplomas or degrees. So for you and me, both of us, to come from such simple backgrounds, and let's just say what it is. We are 2 of the wealthiest people in the world. If you really look at what wealth is today, the kind of success we're in, the top 2%, maybe the top 1%, might be the top 0.5% of all the people on earth. And we didn't have those connections, and we didn't have those diplomas. And we did it by getting that dream, believing in that dream, being willing to work for that dream. That's the same dream we get to offer everybody who joins our profession. Everyone who ever listens or watches this show knows, hey, I don't need a high school, I don't need a college degree. I don't even need a high school diploma. I need a dream, and I got to be willing to pay the price to get that dream. And that was my vision for the show. And you, my friend, have been instrumental, yet one more show to make that happen for the people who get to eavesdrop in on our conversation. So thank you once again, my friend.
Randy, thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you for having me today, and thank you for choosing me. But especially, my friend, thank you from the bottom of my heart for raising the water for everybody, for every single ship. Thank you for doing that, and for sacrificing your time, your life, your everything, just for doing that. It's amazing. Thank you for that, my friend, a lot.
All right, for all you guys watching and listening, subscribe, like, share, peace, love, and unicorns. We're out of here.